The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC.
Welcome along, it's the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington and I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by David Jennings and Paul Keeley. And we've also got making his Postcast debut from Paddy Power, Tom Malone. Now, everyone's going to be football crazy over the next 4 weeks, but there's obviously some fantastic racing just over the horizon at Royal Ascot. And we've also got, I think, 8 Channel 4 races tomorrow to give you a chance to get your Royal Ascot betting bank nice and swollen. So we'll be going through those. We'll be having a little butchers at Royal Ascot as well. And we will see where we get to. OK, first of all, Tom, welcome along to the Racing Postcast. What we always do with our debutantes, we ask a little bit about you. What's your job title?
I am a UK broadcaster, so many people are familiar with the Paddy Power shops in the UK. You probably hear my voice in there if you're ever down the Canary Wharf shop yourself. I am the studio broadcaster and I do a bit of racecourse PR as well.
Excellent stuff, Jolly. And you're Tom with an H, like Tom York out of Radiohead. When did you make that decision?
I know. What an obnoxious teenager I must have been.
Not at all. No. It's a growing trend actually. I've seen a few more, not just the Radiohead frontman. So that's absolutely fine.
The guy who does the Euro 2016 videos on the Telegraph this week, I spotted it has as well. So
excellent.
We're an ever-growing band.
You're a growing band. Which football team do you support?
I don't really support a football team.
Is there anything you support in life?
Yes, massive Leinster rugby fan.
Leinster
I'm sure David Jennings is there giggling.
I was just about to give you the thumbs up for not having a football team, but rugby instead. Jesus, what?
It's popular over there, Kills.
It's very popular over here.
You've gone down in my estimations already.
Sorry,
don't be. No, that's very unwelcoming, Tom. And also, we believe you're the snappiest dresser in Irish racing. Is that right, David? You were saying that.
That's right. I was actually bizarrely in Tom's class in college when I started off doing marketing in DIT on Angel Street in Dublin. And Tom,
why didn't you stick with that?
Well, I came here. I wanted to do journalism.
Okay.
Luckily for you.
Yeah,
and Tom used to come in. He was a very dapper dresser. Yeah, not afraid to wear eccentric colours.
Well, if you look on Tom's Twitter profile, he dressed absolutely fantastic. He's dressed as if he's going to a wedding, but apparently he's just popping out to the local betting shop to have a punt on a cellar. So a very dapper man. Welcome along, Tom. We will get stuck into the racing now. We've got to face it, if you've got Royal Ascot on the horizon, this isn't going to be one of those Saturdays where there's all sorts of relevance to the general narrative of the flat season. But what you have got is a ton of really competitive racing, big price favourites, so devilishly difficult. So hopefully David and Paul are going to be able to take us through the winners. We'll start with York's 335. It's the 888 Sport Charity Sprint. Worth over 60 grand to the winner, 20 declared. We're not quite sure what the going will be, but we do know what the latest Paddy Power betting is, don't we, Tom?
Yeah, and what a great name, but you don't do you is your favourite there at 9-2. I think Richard Guest said is one of the best horses he's ever had after winning by 7 lengths at Thirsk on debut. Anyway, he's 9-2, 7-1 Dancing Stars, 2 from 2 this season, 8-1 Strong Challenge, 10-1 Venturous, 10-1 Acclaim, 12-1 Icarin Road, 12 Show Stealer. 14-1 Alcaba, 16-1 the Mr. Lupton Madrino, and 20s and bigger the rest.
Beautifully recited. That was very nice. Okay, so we've got a proper professional with us. Keels, it says in the running order, will the good to firm ground be against You Don't Do, which is your selection, but of course we're now and it's pissing down at York, so we don't know what the going's going to be yet again.
Yeah, absolutely lashing down, I'm told by a couple of people on Twitter just now, and somebody just said it'll be soft. If that's the case, then this horse will take an awful lot of beating. He's looked really good on his first 2 starts this season, winning both. Trainer, like you said, has said it's the best horse he's ever had. He had another horse called You Do, Don't You, which won very easily at York off a mark in the mid-70s last year, and they sold it to Godolphin. It's rated 100 and something now. So if this is the best horse, then a mark of 89 is perfectly workable.
Do you think they should be allowing these horses' names?
What's the next one going to be called? That's what I'm worried about.
I have no idea. They're obviously a kind of Mickey take of the old Harry Enfield Scousers, aren't they, you'd think? But,
yeah,
so this is You Don't Do, isn't it?
You don't do you.
Okay, but you think he'll win, don't you?
There should be a comma in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll win, yeah, but he's favourite. I'm not giving anything away here, but I do think he's a very, very good horse, and is one to follow.
Okay.
This race last year won by Twilight Sun with Magical Memory back in third, so it was a really good race.
Then. Yeah. David, have you got a view?
Yeah,
well, of course you've got a view. You've got a view on anything, but go on, what is it?
I actually hate sprints, but I actually backed the winner of this race 2 years in a row because I backed Body and Soul in 2013 and I backed Sea the Sun in 2014, both trained by Tim Easterby. You don't do you? Went up £10 obviously for winning at Windsor, and Silk and Skies, who had beat that day, went close during the week at Windsor, Paul will know as well, and ran quite well. Obviously the rain is going to help. I'm willing to give Strong Challenge another chance because I fancy this run really well, and it's come back at Goodwood over 7 furlongs. And this is the horse that beat Gutafan in a maiden at Goodwood last year over 6 furlongs, and Gutafan ended up winning the Flying Childers. I just think it's back over 6, that day over 7. It tried to make its challenge 2 furlongs out, and just it picked up and then got a little bit tired. I thought it was made for a step back to 6, and Sideminster, I think 4 of his last 9 runners have won, and everything seems in place. I think 6 furlongs is what it needs.
Ground a bit of a worry now.
It is a worry because I think it wants a little bit. There was a little bit of juice in the ground when it beat Gutafan that day. It's been dropped £3. It's down to 92. If you told me to start of the year the Strong Challenge would be rated 92, I'd be all over it. So I'm willing to give him another chance, but there is risks attached.
Let's get Tom's debut postcast tip on the 3:35 at York on Saturday.
I'm with Paul here. You do.
No, you don't.
You don't do. I'm just never going to get this right, am I? You don't do you? Yeah. Look, I've no problems. He won on soft at Thirst first time out, 7 lengths. You know, crazy comments after the race. 9-2 right now. I'd say it'd be well short of that.
What price is this horse going to go off, do you think, Paul?
I can't see it being an awful lot shorter than that. It's a 20-runner race at the end of the day, isn't it? In fact, 9-2 now, you can bet your life on Saturday morning it will be bigger than that.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm looking at my weather app, which I reckon is better than yours, Kills. You'll still use that Norwegian one, don't you? I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called weather.com cryptically. But it's absolutely brilliant. And look at that. It's raindrops absolutely everywhere from now right until the end of the meeting. So, it can cut up fairly quickly there, Kills, can't it?
Of course it can, yeah. But that's all good for you don't do you.
OK, right. The Ganton Stakes is at 3 o'clock. Tom, how are Paddy Power betting on that?
Sorry, it's a bit slow to... bit down to stakes here. 4-1 the field, Muta KF coming back. Thurbion Energy at Davos, obviously back in October. It's 4-1 about Muta KF. 9-2 then Mind Your Own Business. Muari is 5s. 6-1 Gabriel. 6-1 Gelata. 9-1 You're Fired. 11 Sovereign Debt. And 14s and bigger the rest there.
Keels, the winner is?
What price are you Top Notch Tonto?
Top Notch Tonto is 14s.
Top Notch Tonto, 14-1. That's a big price. This time last year, exactly the same happened. It lashed down with rain. Top Notch Tonto had run twice, been below form. He came back to form. He was well backed in the morning, and he won quite well under Sylvester de Souza. He's got first-time blinkers this time. He actually ran better, an awful lot better last time than he did on his penultimate race this time last year. And you just go and have a look at his York form. He's just got some cracking York form. He nearly won a handicap of a mark of 108. He won this race last year. He's got plenty of other massive runs. He was only just touched off by Tullius, who bounced back to form at Ascot last week in a Group 2.
Epsom.
At Epsom, yeah, sorry. It's just all York form, and if he bounces back, he's got a cracking chance.
God, I finally managed to correct Keels on a racing fact. I feel so good about myself. Who's going to win it, David Jennings? You running with Top Notch Tonto as well?
No, I'm not. I just can't believe Paul Hannigan has picked Muari over Muta KF, because I thought Muta KF, when I seen the 5 days, that was the one horse I was interested in on Saturday. And the thing about this horse is, like, he's run really well in his reappearance each year. I think it was second on its debut back in 2013, and then it was second in the Strensel Stakes in 2015 behind Mondelez on its first start. I think he goes well fresh. I thought he had the makings of a Group 1 horse earlier on in his career. If you remember, Paul, you probably remember this. Remember he beat Green Light in a maiden at Sandown?
Yeah,
he was 1-5 or something that day.
Green Light won by half the track last week, didn't he?
No, this is obviously the year before last, so a lot has changed in between them. But he's a bloody good horse, and I think the fact that Pat Cosgrave rides him, it's not necessarily a negative, because he's ridden him a couple of times and he's ran well for him. So I'm not sure if Hannigan had the choice. He probably did, but Muari is coming back from a massive absence. I think Muta KF is slightly better class than this. If he can handle the ground, I think 4-1 is it. I think he's only 4-1 because Hannigan's not riding it.
He's got soft ground form. He's definitely got soft ground form.
Yeah, I think he's the one. Like his place form, he was second to Scottish, he was second to Channock Chase, he was third to Air Pilot. It's just a better calibre of horses that he's running against here, so I'd be willing to take a chance on him. And I think he's only that price, because Hannigan has gone for Muari.
And fourth favourite, Gabriel. Do you think he can frank the Frankel form there from the Sussex Stakes about 8 years ago? Great to see Gabriel still
Actually,
running,
he was second
isn't
in the
it?
race.
Legend of
He
a
was
horse.
second in the race last year, wasn't he? He invariably runs one or two very big races every year.
When you least expect it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he can do it. I mean, he's only 6-1. It's not a price that really excites, but.
What price excites you, Tom, in this race?
Yeah, you can't get away from the top-notch Tonto York form, and like Paul said, just like last year, wasn't he a huge price in the morning as well, and he was backed in all morning long before winning this race. So, maybe if the rain comes, wouldn't be shy about backing him. And like you say about Gabriel, I think you'd want about 20-1 before you'd sort of consider picking him for it each way, because he just can never sort of predict when he's going to turn it on.
Don't diss Gabriel, mate. He's one of my favourites.
Oh, no,
Right.
sorry,
Well,
Chris.
what about York? What about the rest of the York card kills? Anything else?
There was one, if I could find it. Oh, yeah, I quite liked Lulu the Zulu at a price. I'm just a little bit concerned
Which race?
about the ground. That is in the 225. Lulu the Zulu in the 225. In fact, I'll take the top two against the field here, because the ground is coming right for Rennie Mathis, who's starting to run well again.
Loves Rennie.
He's only a pound higher than when he won at Goodwood last year in a really, really good handicap. Lulu Zulu does have form on soft ground as well. I thought she, although second last, I thought she ran quite well. Very keen at Chester last time. I'll take those two against the field, both double figures with Paddy.
You got one
Yeah,
in?
10-1 Rennie Mathis, 14's Lulu to Zulu there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I have the winner of the first Bruce, the Lady Riders race. Ocean of Alan
Serena
King's.
Brotherton.
Serena Brotherton, yeah. Quick
That's all
off
you
the
need
mark
to worry
there.
about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And she's
If it
actually...
keeps raining, it won't run.
Really?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want soft ground.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but he's ran quite well over hurdles when there has been some cut on the ground. So once it doesn't get really soft, I think Ocean, if you go back to last season, this horse tried to give Simple Verse £3 in a race and was beaten less than a length that day. And the race that it was fourth, I think, to Starkitect at Salisbury in a really good handicap the last day. The fifth horse, Nigel, came out and won during the week at Brighton, and it was a proper, really strongly run race. Starkitect is in top form, won over hurdles, and I think it's off 84. It's off the same mark that it got within a length of Simple Verse. It has Serena Brotherton, who's had a winner at York in the last couple of years, so she obviously rides the track quite well. And I think Ocean, if, as you say, Paul, if it doesn't rain too much, I think that'll take the world of beating in the opener.
Okay, Musselburgh and Sandown coming up.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Okay, poor old Scotland, very left out as everyone else heads across the channel for the Euros, but they do have a very good race meeting at Musselburgh, and the highlight is at 3:45, the Scottish Sprint Cup. And to set the scene for that, Tom Malone, how are Paddy Power betting there?
Quick look at that. It's 4-1 the field. Kimberella tops the market there for Tandy Nichols and Freddie Talicki. 8-1 about Red Baron. Duke of Friends is 10s, as is Judicial. Tesme, I think, is Paul's pick here, is 10-1. Confessional 12-1 and that penalty for winning at Goodwood last time out. 12-1 Fast Track. 12-1 See the Sun for Rachel Richardson and Tim Easterby. 16's Robot Boy. 16-1 Sylvanas. 16-1 Green Door. Royal Birth. Hoof Along. And it's 20s and bigger the rest.
Surely you've got to be tipping Tangerine Trees here, Kills, haven't you? The old
Well,
18-year-old.
Tempted by it, came back. I napped it when it won Nottingham on
That was a
its
great
return.
tip,
It was
that.
brilliant, 15-2. No, probably not good enough to contest this sort of race anymore. I do like Thesme. It got an awful lot of pace. Was third in a race to Duke of Firenze and Brando, who I think is Woking favourite now. Last time out, that was a bounce back to form. The ground is still fast, as I know, up at Musselburgh. My only worry is the draw in stall 4, because you normally want to be high here. Now, last week in the dash, I backed a horse from stall 2, paying no attention to the draw, and of course, it finished 7th to the 6th highest drawn horses in the race, which was rather
But I
annoying.
did a bit of research on this. Last year was first, the 1, 2, 3
Yes,
was 11, 17, 12. The year before, 3, 7,
Yes,
10.
it can. Yeah, it's not as bad.
And 1 and 8 the year before.
It's not
so-
as bad. It has been one from a low draw, and he's got pace. Now, the last 2 winners of this race made all, which, when you look at Musselburgh, they quite often do come over and concentrate towards the rail, and you can get a lot of trouble in running. Now, everybody's been saying, and everybody saw how unlucky Kimberella was when it came out the stalls in the dash last. But you will never see a horse get a more charmed run through, because he never even saw a horse.
No.
So he'd be very, very lucky if that happens again. Now, he doesn't actually miss the break very often, so that might just have been a blip, in which case he can take a position But 4-1 for me, short enough.
Yeah, that dog leg 5 furlong at Musselburgh is quite tricky, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Who do you like, David?
I think last year's winner, Red Baron, as Paul said, I was worried about the stall too. Did a bit of research, realised, 2014 stall 3, 2013 stall 1. So I'm not quite as worried about that, although last year he was in stall 11, I think, when he won it. But think about him, his form figures at Musselburgh, Bruce, you like this. 2-1-1, 0-2-7, 2-5-1-2. So he's run 4 of his 9 starts and he's been second in 3 of them. So he loves the track. I'd imagine he's been laid out for this race. He's £7 higher than last year. He's off 100. He was off 93 last year. I thought he ran really well the last day. I think this has been the plan for a long time. And as Paul said, he's a real speed horse. He breaks well. He'll probably be in front after a furlong or two, and it'll be Catch Me If You Can.
Okay, so it's Red Baron for David and Thesme for Paul Keeley. Who for you, Tom Malone?
I'm giving a little squeak for See the Sun. Rachel Richardson's claim wipes out the raise he got for winning at York last time out. Maybe this trip will be a little sharp, but tends to be prominent and drawn high as well. Should help.
Okay, let's go down to Sandown then, where the Scurry Stakes is their big race. And how are you betting on that one, Tom?
Yeah, Scurry Stakes. She's a bit slow to load up here.
Brendan Duke would have that by now.
I'm telling you, Dukey, he's on it. Or he would have had a witty line while he waited. 11-4 joint favourites there, Ornate and Easton Angel. 5-1 Shaden. Demands 11-2. 10-1 Willie the Conqueror. 12-1 Lil's Joy. And 14's and bigger the rest. But 11-4 joints there, Easton Angel and Ornate.
Easton Angel just wins and it kills?
Yeah, I think it does. Problem is stall 8, because obviously we know Sandown, you need a low draw, but if she can overcome that, I mean, I was really impressed with her when she won at York. I thought she did it really well. She's going forwards again. I think she'll like the uphill finish. Like I said, the one problem is the draw, because you get an awful lot of horses, one from stalls 1 and 2 here. So you've got to look at the likes of Shaden, who's making a return for a new yard, but has some decent form against him. But Eastern Angel 11-4 looks fair to me.
I think so. This time last year, finishing second to Acapulco and the Queen Mary. What do you reckon, David Jennings?
Don't drop dead now, Bruce, but I've absolutely no opinion on this race.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've never ever heard you say that. Have you got an opinion, Tom?
Yeah, I can't believe Easton Angel is an outright favourite, to be perfectly honest. But I'm kind of with you. Yeah, the draw is a slight negative, but I'd definitely be with her.
Good, excellent. We're all over Eastern Angel. Right then, let's go across to Ireland. Navan, David Jennings' local track. Are you going there, David?
Tomorrow. Oh, I am. I'm working there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm working there. Yeah.
You don't really regard it as work, do you? Mean you're
Absolutely
reporting
not.
from there?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and which horse should we be backing?
The one I really like is in the 2:30 in that sprint handicap. Blood Moon is a horse I've been following for a long time. It was sent off favourite for the Birdcatcher last year. Ger Lyons and Colin Keane in super form. But I really like the way he got the job done at Fairyhouse the last day. He beat a horse called Golden Pearl quite convincingly. He's only gone up £1 for that, which I can't believe. He's rated 94 now. I think he's bordering on a 3-figure rating horse. I think he's got plenty of ability. I think the uphill finish at Navan will suit. Spoke to Colin Keane doing an interview the other day, and he's a horse he likes. He thinks he's on the verge of group class. 94, I think he'll take a hell of a lot of beating. He's a 3-year-old, and I think he's the one in the race. They're all kind of seasoned handicappers that all beat each other every day of the week, but he's the kind of unknown quantity, so I'd give Blood Moon a big shout on that 2:30.
Okay, let's get everyone's best bet for Saturday.
If he doesn't win, I will be absolutely staggered. I think it's a stone cold certainty.
Ever since that happened, you haven't stopped tipping winners.
Yeah, apart from last week, I've hit a bit of a quiet spell. It's all going to change with you don't do you?
In the
3:35 at York.
David?
I'm going to go for Moot KF in the 3 o'clock at York.
I'm going to go for Eastern Angel in the 3:20 at Sandown. And Tom, who are you going to go with?
I was going to go for Eastern Angel.
You can do that as well, mate. That's
okay,
fine.
well,
strength in numbers.
Yeah, or I was going to go for Ireland plus 15 against South African rugby, but I'm probably not allowed.
No, we know
rugby, or else
you're
Paul
banned.
Keeley is going to kick me out forever.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's a black mark. That you've been going so well, and then he brings in a rugby team. What was it again?
Ireland plus 15 against South Africa.
Is that sentimental, or are you a dispassionate, cold-hearted killer of a punter?
I'm absolutely not patriotic at all. First time ever Ireland can match the box pound for pound in the backs.
There's a few box in this studio, don't worry about that. OK, we'll look ahead to Sunday and then Royal Ascot.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
Welcome back, Bruce Millington, Paul Keeley, David Jennings, and from Paddy Power, our Postcast Davidson, Tom Malone. We'll have a quick look at Sunday because I'm itching to get him stuck in on an early look at Royal Ascot. Kills, you don't need to worry about what's going on at Cork, do you? I don't suppose you've had a look, have you?
No, couldn't care less about Cork. I haven't even looked at it. I must say, if Doncaster is getting the rain that York is, then Eccleston will become very interesting in the 3:30 third start for David O'Meara.
Okay, and David, the floor is yours. Take us through the Cork good things.
Yeah, it's
the Cork Corkers.
The Corkers, I like that. I might use that actually in my report. I think that this is their best flat card of the year. You know, that has a couple of good jump races, but there's two really good races: the Midsummer Sprint Stakes at 3:20 and the bang in form Aratoumi, who's chasing a 4-timer for Colin Keane and Ger Lyons. This stable is in cracking form all year. It hit the ground running. It's just continued to roll. And this horse, I think he had win problems early on in his career, but he's really come alive this year. And he's just doing enough. He seems to know where the winning line was. He looked beaten the last day at Cork and got up on the line. And I think he'll probably complete the 4-timer. Doesn't look the strongest renewal of the race. You've got Spirit Quartz is in it and Dicta Del Mar, horses that have been around the block for a long time. But Aratoumi is the one improver. I think he'll probably win that 3:20.
And you did an interview with Colin Keane this week, didn't you? Did he give you the word?
Great lad. My God, just if the place was falling down around him, he wouldn't bother him in the least. He's just goes out, rides the horses, and happy out. He did say that I spoke to him a little bit about Blood Moon, and we'll talk about Royal Ascot later. He's absolutely head over heels in love with Endless Drama. So
Aratoumi there, and who in the Munster Oaks?
In the Munster Oaks, yeah, this is wide open because you don't know how the Ballydoyle fillies have come on. I think one of them will probably improve a lot. How High the Moon is probably the one that has the most scope for improvement. Pretty Perfect was a bit disappointing the last day. Shamarine is the one that I'd probably side with. I thought it was reasonably impressive the last day at Gorham Park. It looked in trouble kind of early on in the home straight and then won quite snug in the end. The form looks pretty strong even though it was a small field, and Dermot Weld, if I said Ger Lyons' stable was in good form, Dermot Weld's in cracking form, so Shamarine for me.
Okay, Tom, have you got anything here or should we get stuck into Royal Ascot?
Nothing particularly to add.
Right,
to the
coming in,
Strokes
two horses each for Royal Ascot next week. Start with you, Keels.
Yeah, well, first of all, much depends on the ground. There's been a lot of soft ground horses being backed in recent days, but all we've got is showers forecast. Now, they can be very, very localised. I was at, I live in Epsom, 5 mile away from Sandown. Now, on Wednesday, Sandown reported 4 mils of light showers. We must have had an inch. It was absolutely hammering for about an hour and a half. So that's how localised it can be. So the ground could be anything from good to soft to good to firm, and it is on the fast side at the moment. If it stays fast, Buratino is a mad price for the Commonwealth Cup. You've got to remember that this horse won the Coventry last year easily, beating one of the best 2-year-olds we've ever seen by the end of the season, Air Force Blue. Now, if he returns to anywhere near that sort of form at Ascot, he's by Exceed and Excel, who has had more straight course winners than almost any other side you care to mention outside of Oasis Dream, I think. So if he returns to form on fast ground there, he's got a cracking chance.
And he looked like he was coming to win the race the other day.
Yeah, he went well on ground that was too easy for him. That is just a stupid price. So I'm going to have some of that. I haven't got an absolute massive nap at the meeting at the moment.
For God's sake,
sure
you're
I'll find
joking,
one.
Royal Ascot, man, 30 races.
I know.
You can only give us one horse.
I like Outback Traveller for the Wokingham. Again, if the ground remains fast.
You've taught me into backing about 20 horses. Now all of a sudden you clammed up.
Yeah, I haven't got one that I want to get really, really stuck into. I've backed Outback Traveller for the Wokingham. He absolutely cantered to the front over 7 furlongs in the Victoria Cup and didn't seem to get home, which is a bit strange given how much 7 furlong form he had. But he's gone to Robert Cowell from Jeremy Nasido, and Robert Cowell just trains sprinters, basically. You know, the vast majority of his horses win over 5 and 6 furlongs, and he just seems to be a lot faster.
Okay, so Tom, give us some prices then. Buratino for the Commonwealth and Outback Traveller for the Wokingham, please.
Yeah, well, for the Commonwealth Cup there, Buratino 25-1. For that one, and for the Wokingham, Outback Travellers 10-1 has been back from 14s.
Okay, David, who are your two?
It's 30 races. I fancy about 35 horses. I just got a lovely email from your good self this morning, Bruce, telling us about the in-house tipping competition, which I'm looking forward to. I fancy.
Are you the defending champ? Oh no, we forgot to do one last year, didn't we?
I won Cheltenham.
You won Cheltenham, didn't you?
Yeah.
You won't win this then.
No,
one does a
absolutely
double.
not. No. It's a couple of horses mad overpriced, I think. Esoterique and the Queen Anne. I know she was beaten on her comeback, and it was only a couple of days ago, but she was second a solo in the race last year. I thought that was a much stronger renewal than this year's race. Endless Drama has a chance, and as I said, Colin Keane just thinks he's a monster, and is certainly a Group 1 horse. But Esoterique at 12-1, I think is huge, especially if this rain does come. I think it's a big price. And
Bellardo wins that.
do you think so? Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, Esoterique.
Esoterique and the Queen Anne. And I'm going to stick to day one. I tipped up in the paper today, and happy enough with it. Jenny's Jewel, a horse that you have fond memories of, Bruce, in the Ascot Stakes. Spoke to Jarlath Fahey yesterday. Everything has been geared towards this race. Ronan Whelan rides. Thinks she's improved again since the Curragh. And the funny thing about Jenny's Jewel is she's a 146 rated hurdler that can't jump. So how good must she be on the flat? And she proved that the last day. I think off 93. I think at 12-1 she's a stonking bet in the Ascot Stakes.
Okay, you got some prices for those two, Tom?
Yeah, looking Jenny's Jewel's 11-1 there for the Ascot Stakes, and looking at the Queen Anne, it's 12-1 about Esoterique for the Queen Anne. A few you've mentioned there. Endless Drama's 8-1, Bellardo's 6-1, Tepin top in the market with no nasal strip is 7-2.
Come on and give us your two, Tom.
Well, I'm keeping it pretty close to home and pretty early as well. Love Psychedelic Funk in the Coventry, and a bit of an Endless Drama fan in the Queen Anne. Probably won't tip him up, but I'll go with Portage in whatever race he runs in.
Oh yes, the Hunt Cup.
Sixes for the Wolfer. Yeah, I mean a lot of people are saying the Wolferton, but I'm happy enough of 105 in the Royal Hunt Cup at 12-1. I just hope he goes. But a lot of people saying Hassanor might go, his stablemate. But Portage at 12 in the Royal Hunt Cup, and massive fan of Psychedelic Funk for the Coventry.
Excellent stuff. Okay, I'm going to play it very safe with a dull but rock solid double. I'm going to go with Ashin Hikari in the Prince of Wales on Wednesday, and then Order of St George in the Gold Cup. Cut the 6-4 shots there, double them up, and that will come to a nice return. We are back every day next week with Royal Ascot Postcast, so do join us then. In the meantime, many thanks to David Jennings, thanks to Paul Keeley, and thank you for a very accomplished debut from Paddy Power's Tom Malone.
The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They pay more extra places than any other bookie.